Rila floated in darkness. The stars outside her small pod did not move. Everything was quiet. Cold metal walls pressed around her. She had no food, no water, no voice left to cry. Her planet was gone. Her people were gone. She was the last one. The pod was broken. The power was almost finished. The air inside was thin. She had wrapped herself in old cloth to stay warm. Her body was weak, but her mind was still sharp. Rila was not a soldier. She was once a student in a great city of thinkers. Her people believed in peace and light. But peace did not save them. The machines came from the sky. Silent black ships. No warning, no message. Just fire. Rila had run through smoke and fire. She had seen her home fall, her family disappear. She had jumped into the cargo pod to escape. It was not made for travel, just for storage. But it had taken her far from the burning world. Now she floated near nothing. Only stars. Only silence. She closed her eyes. If this was the end, she would accept it. Then something changed. A sound came through the pod wall. A low hum, then a pull. The stars outside began to shift. The pod was moving, not by itself. Something was pulling it. Rila sat up slowly. Her head felt heavy. Her hands were cold. But she looked out the small window. A large ship was in front of her. Gray metal. Strange shape. Lights blinked around it. She had never seen a ship like this. It was human. Her people knew about humans. They were new in the galaxy. Loud, fast, strange. Her teachers said humans were dangerous, wild. They fought too much. They did not think deeply. They took what they wanted. She waited to see what they would do. Maybe they would take the pod. Maybe they would take her. Maybe they would leave her to drift again. The pod shook. The hatch opened from outside. Cold air rushed in. A tall figure stepped inside wearing a heavy suit. The face was hidden behind glass. The figure looked at her. Then the voice came through. A small speaker. "Are you alive?" Rila did not answer. She was afraid. Her legs could not move. The figure came closer. The voice was calm. "It's all right. You are safe now. I will take you to the ship." Rila could not stop him. She had no strength. But the human did not hurt her. He wrapped her in a warm blanket. He lifted her gently. Then he carried her out. The hallway of the human ship was full of light. It was clean and warm. Other humans looked at her with surprise, but no one stopped the man. He took her to a small room. Soft bed, water, a box that made warm air. Then he placed her on the bed and spoke again. "I am Tom. I found your pod. You are safe here." Rila watched him with wide eyes. She could not speak his language yet. But she understood one word. Safe Tom placed food in front of her. Soft bread, hot soup. She ate slowly. Her hands shook. But the warmth made her feel human again. She looked at Tom. He did not act like a wild creature. He sat nearby but did not stare. He did not ask anything. He only waited. After a while he smiled. "You are lucky. That pod had no signal. We only found it by accident." Rila did not know what to say. Her mouth could not form words. But her eyes stayed on him. Tom stood up. "Rest. You need time." He left the room. Rila lay back on the bed. Her eyes closed. Her mind ran fast. Why had this human helped her? She remembered the stories. Humans were loud and selfish. But this one had given her food, warmth, a bed, no cage, no chains. Was this a trick or were the stories wrong? She did not know, but her heart, tired and cold, felt something small and warm rise inside hope. Rila opened her eyes. The light in the room was soft. The air was warm. Her body felt better. Not strong, but better than before. She looked around. The room was clean and small. There was a soft bed, a table, and a screen on the wall. The door. was closed but not locked. For a moment she stayed still. Her mind was quiet. Then she sat up slowly. Her hands touched the soft blanket. She looked down at the clothes she wore. They were not hers. They were human. She remembered the man. Tom. He had carried her from the broken pod. He had given her food. He had said she was safe. No one had touched her since the war. No one had spoken with care. Not until the door made a soft sound. It opened. Tom stepped in with a smile. He held a tray in his hands. "You're awake." "Good. I brought food again." Rila sat still. She did not smile. But she looked at the tray. Warm steam rose from the food. Tom placed the tray on the table. He sat on a chair across the room. Not close, not far. He waited. Rila reached for the food. She ate slowly. She did not take her eyes off him. He did not look angry. He did not look scared. He just watched with a calm face. When she finished, he spoke again. "I know you can understand me. Maybe not all the words, but enough. That's okay." Rila gave a small nod. Tom smiled a little more. "Good. You're strong. You lived out there alone. Most people would not survive." Rila looked down at her hands. She thought of her planet, her people, her family. She did not feel strong. She felt empty. Tom saw her face and stayed quiet for a while. Then he spoke again, softer this time. "Do you want to see the ship?" Rila looked up. She did not answer with words, but after a moment, she stood. Tom stood too. He moved to the door and waited. Rila followed him. The hallway outside was long and silver. Lights blinked above. Other humans walked past. Some looked at her. Some nodded. No one stopped her. Tom led her through the halls. He showed her the dining area, the sleeping quarters, and the control room. He spoke the names of places. Rila listened and remembered. They reached a window. Outside was the dark sky. Stars burned far away. A small moon floated in the distance. Tom stood beside her. "This ship is called Hope Seeker. We help small stations and lost ships. We fix things. We don't fight." Rila looked at the stars. Her eyes were wide. She had seen space before, but never like this. Never from a human ship. She pointed at the stars and spoke in a quiet voice. "Home." Tom looked at her face. "Your home is gone, isn't it?" Rila did not answer. She did not need to. Her eyes said enough. Tom gave a small nod. He looked at the stars, too. "I'm sorry." Rila looked at him. The word was new from a human. Her own people had stopped saying sorry long ago. Tom turned to her. "You're not a prisoner. You can walk around the ship. Just stay near the main halls. If you want anything, ask me." Rila gave a slow nod. He smiled again. "Good. I'll let the captain know you're awake." He walked away. Rila stayed near the window. She watched the stars. She listened to the quiet hum of the ship. The humans had built something strange. Not beautiful, but strong. Not perfect, but alive. The next day, Tom brought her a small tablet. It showed pictures and words. It was a language tool. You can learn fast with this. It helps with human speech. Rila took the tablet. She pressed the screen. A soft voice spoke the word in her own language. Then it repeated it in human words. She looked at Tom, then gave a small smile. "Thank you." Tom smiled back. "You're welcome." In the days that followed, Rila stayed near Tom. He showed her the engines, the food storage, and the small garden room where plants grew in glass cases. He explained how things worked. He spoke slowly so she could learn. The other humans started talking to her too. Some were friendly, some stayed away, but no one was cruel. Rila worked with her hands. She helped clean wires and carry tools. Her body grew stronger. Her mind stayed sharp. She asked questions and remembered answers. Tom was always patient. Always kind, one evening, Rila sat with Tom in the garden room. Small green plants moved in soft wind. Lights above gave fake sunlight. She asked him a question, "Why help me?" Tom looked at her, "Because you needed help." Rila looked down. "I had nothing." Tom shook his head. "You are not nothing. You are someone. You matter." She looked at him again. Her eyes were full of questions, but she said nothing more. Tom stood. "You can stay as long as you want. This ship is a place for people who don't give up." Then he walked away. Rila stayed in the garden. Her fingers touched the soft leaves of a small plant. It was new, still growing, still alive just like her. Rila sat alone in her room. The small light near the bed gave a soft glow. Her hands rested on her knees. The tablet Tom gave her was open beside her. It showed simple words and pictures. But she was not using it tonight. Her mind was far away. She closed her eyes. She saw flames, black skies, tall towers falling. She heard the loud sound of machines. She felt the ground shake under her feet. The memory of her world came back. The day everything changed started like any other. She had walked through the city with a book in her hand. The sky was clear. The wind was light. She had stopped at a small store to buy warm drink. The old man at the counter smiled at her. He always did. Then the sky turned dark, not from clouds, but from ships, big black ships, silent, cold, no color, no name. They came down fast. No warning, no light message, no voice, just fire. The buildings exploded, one by one. People screamed and ran. Her school was gone in seconds. Her home was turned into dust. Rila had run with others. But the machines were everywhere, flying above, moving through the streets. They did not talk. They did not listen. They only destroyed. She had reached the spaceport. People tried to leave, but there were not enough ships. Some ships exploded before they could fly. Rila found an old cargo pod. She climbed inside and closed the door. The pod shook and jumped into space. Then it floated into the dark, alone. She had cried. She had shouted. But no one came until Tom's soft knock on the door brought her back. Rila opened her eyes. She stood. Up and opened the door. Tom stood there. He held a small box in his hand. "Hey, I made something for you." Rila looked at the box. Tom opened it. Inside was a small round object with tiny lights. It looked like a ball, but when he pressed a button, it showed light pictures in the air, small stars. A map of space. Her eyes opened wide. "This is a star map. It shows where your pod was found." "I thought you might want to know." Rila touched the image. Her finger passed through it, but the stars stayed. She saw her home system. It was marked in red. She looked at Tom. "Why?" He gave a small smile. "Because I would want to know, too." Rila gave a small nod. She placed the star map on her table. She spoke softly. They came with no voice. Tom sat down. "The machines." Rila nodded. "They burned everything. They did not stop. My people tried to fight, but we had no weapons. We were thinkers, not soldiers." Tom looked at her with quiet eyes. "I'm sorry." Rila looked away. "We thought we were safe. We believed in peace. But peace did not save us." She sat on the bed and held her hands together. "I lost everything." Tom waited. He did not speak right away. Then he said, "You're not lost. You're here." Rila looked at him again. Her eyes were tired. "Why did they come?" Tom shook his head. "I don't know. But if they're still out there, someone needs to stop them." Rila stood up and walked to the window. She looked at the stars. "My people studied the stars. We read the sky like a book. But we missed the danger. We missed the signs." Tom came beside her. "Not your fault." Rila pointed to a far star. "That was my sun. Bright and warm. My father used to tell stories about it. He said we came from its fire." She turned to Tom. "Now, it's just light in the sky." Tom stayed quiet. Then he spoke again. "You're strong, Rila. You lived through something most people could not. You still wake up. You still move forward." Rila gave a weak smile. "You helped Tom, looked at her. You saved yourself." "I just opened a door." She looked down at her hands. These hands built things once. Wrote ideas, drew maps. Now they fix wires. Tom laughed a little. "That's not a bad thing. Wires are important too." Rila laughed softly for the first time. Maybe Tom stood up. "I'll let you rest. Tomorrow I'll show you how the water system works." Rila nodded. "Thank you." Tom, he walked out of the room. She sat back down. Her eyes moved to the star, map. She watched the lights move slowly in the air. Her world was gone, but she was still here. The memory of fire was heavy, but inside her chest, something small still burned, not fear, not hate, something new. She did not know the word for it yet, but it felt like the start of something strong. Rila stood beside Tom in the engine room. The place was warm and full of sound. Pipes hummed, lights blinked, machines moved in rhythm, a slow beat of life inside metal walls. Tom held a tool in his hand and pointed to a large silver box. "This is the core filter. It keeps the power clean. If it gets blocked, the ship slows down or stops." Rila leaned forward. Her eyes studied every part. She had never seen engines like these before. Her people used soft energy lines, not spinning parts and thick wires. But this was strong, simple, direct. Human Tom handed her the tool. "Try it." Rila took the tool. Her hands moved slowly but with care. She opened a side panel. Wires showed inside like colored roots. She used the tool to test each one. A small beep came from the screen. "Good. That one works fine." Rila looked at him. "It is alive." Tom smiled. "Kind of. The ship has systems that talk to each other, not like people, but close enough." Rila closed the panel and locked it. Tom nodded with a pleased look. "You learn fast." Rila gave a small smile. "I listened." Tom laughed. "That helps." Each day, Rila learned something new. She fixed lights in the hallway. She cleaned filters in the air vents. She helped move food boxes in storage. She worked with her hands and used her mind. The crew began to notice. One tall man named Glenn showed her how to clean the water tanks. A woman named Mina taught her how to read the ship's alerts. Another worker named Rob gave her small puzzles to solve in the control room. Rila solved them faster than expected. One morning, the captain called her to the bridge. The captain was a strong woman named Hannah. Her hair was short. Her voice was calm and sharp. "You are doing good work, Rila. Tom says you learn fast." "That is true." Rila stood straight. "I try hard." Captain Hannah looked at her for a moment. "Would you like to be part of the crew?" Rila was quiet. "I do not want to be in the way." "You are not in the way. You help. And we need people who help." Rila nodded. "Yes, I want to stay." The captain handed her a small box. Inside was a uniform. It was the same gray-blue color all workers wore. Rila looked at it with both hands. Her eyes did not blink. "This means you are one of us now. Do your work well. Speak with respect. Help others. That is all we ask." Rila bowed her head. "Thank you, Captain." That day she wore the uniform with quiet pride. The cloth felt light, but it carried meaning. She walked through the halls. People nodded at her. Some even smiled. Later that evening, Tom found her in the garden room. "So, I heard you joined the crew." Rila looked at him. "Yes." She touched the badge on her chest. "I have a place now." Tom leaned against the glass wall. "You always had a place. You just didn't know it yet." Rila looked at the plants. Green leaves moved slowly under the light. "Your ship is strange." But kind. Tom laughed. "That's one way to say it." She turned to him. "You were the first to be kind." Tom looked down. "I just did what I could." "That is more than most." She looked at her hands. "When I had nothing, you gave me food and warmth. When I was silent, you listened. When I was weak, you waited. Now I want to do the same for others." Tom nodded. That's what crew means. We lift each other. A soft beep came from Tom's small device. He checked it. We have a small task near the outer deck. Want to help? Rila stood yes. They walked together through the ship. The lights above made soft shadows on the floor. Rila felt something in her chest. A quiet beat. It was not fear, not sorrow. It was purpose. They reached the outer deck. A panel had loose wires. Tom explained the steps. Rila listened. Then she worked. Her fingers moved fast now, not perfect, but steady. She tested the wires, closed the panel, ran a check on the screen. All systems showed green. Nice work, Rila smiled. Thank you. As they walked back, Rila looked at the crew around her. People talked, laughed, argued, solved problems. It was not always smooth, not always clean, but it was alive. She had come from a world of quiet study and soft light. Now she lived inside a ship of steel and fire. She had lost her past, but she was building something new, a human way. It was not her old way, but it was strong. It moved forward. The ship moved through space like a quiet bird. Rila stood near the window in the control room. Stars passed slowly outside. She watched with calm eyes. Her hands were behind her back. She wore the crew uniform now. She was part of the Hope Seeker. Tom stood near the screen. He looked at alerts and messages coming in. The captain sat in her seat. Others worked at their stations. Everything felt normal. Then a sharp sound broke the quiet. Beep, beep. Everyone looked up. Incoming signal. It was a distress. Call. The voice came through the speaker. It was fast and full of fear. This is cargo ship Nova Light. We are under attack. Coordinates uploaded. Please help us. Captain Hana stood quickly. Who is attacking? The crew member at the screen spoke. Signal is weak, but we see unknown machines near the ship. No life signals from the attackers. The captain's face became hard. Show location. The map on the screen showed a ship floating near a small moon. It was alone. Red lights blinked around it. Strange shapes moved near it. Fast and cold, Rila stepped forward. Show the shapes. The image zoomed in. Rila felt cold inside. The shapes were black. Sharp. No lights. No faces. She knew them. They were the same kind of machines that had destroyed her world. Rila looked at the captain. Those are the same machines. They will not stop. They kill without reason. Tom looked at her. Are you sure? Rila gave a small nod. Yes. I remember their shape. I remember how they move. I remember the silence before they strike. Captain Hana looked at the crew. Is the Nova Light still? Sending signals. Yes, Captain. But weak now. The captain thought for a moment. We are not a warship. If we go near, we may not return. Tom stepped forward, but if we don't go, they will die. Just like Rila's people. Rila looked at him. She said nothing. But her heart felt full. The captain looked at them both. We have families on this ship. We have a duty to protect them. Tom spoke again. We also have a duty to help those who call for us. That is why this ship was built. There was silence in the room. The captain looked around. All crew vote now. Say yes if you wish to help. Say no if you wish to turn back. One by one, the voices came. Yes, 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 yes. The vote was clear. Rila watched them. Her eyes felt warm. These humans were not perfect, but they were brave. The Hope Seeker turned toward the Nova Light. As they moved closer, the machines became clearer. They looked like spiders made of black steel. They floated around the ship like hunters. Tom checked the weapons. We only have light. Arms. No missiles. Rila stepped forward. I can help. I know how they think. They use patterns. They scan for signals. I can block their path. The captain looked at her. How? Give me access to the data lines. I will create false signals. Make them think we are not a threat. Or make them chase a fake ship. Tom nodded. That could work. They moved quickly. Rila sat at the control panel. Her fingers moved fast across the screen. Her eyes stayed focused. She entered numbers, changed codes, sent false signals into space. The machines began to move away from the Nova light. They followed the fake signal. It worked. The path was clear. The Hope Seeker reached the ship. Tom and 2 crew members went out in suits. They entered the Nova light. The lights inside were low. Smoke filled the halls. They found the crew hiding near the engine room. 5 people. Alive but weak. Tom called back. We found them. We are bringing them out. The machines turned back too soon. They saw the trick. They came fast. Rila watched the screen. They are coming back. We have only minutes. The captain called on the radio. Move fast. We leave now. Tom and the others rushed back to the Hope Seeker with the survivors. As soon as they entered, the ship pulled away. The machines followed. Their arms reached out like claws. Rila acted fast. She sent a burst of energy from the back engine. A bright flash blinded the machines for a second, just enough to escape. The Hope Seeker jumped into faster space. Silence returned. The crew cheered. The survivors were safe. No one had died. Rila sat back in her chair. Her hands shook a little. Tom came to her and placed a hand on her shoulder. You saved them. Rila looked up at him. No, we saved them. The captain walked in. You did well, Rila. Your knowledge helped us all. Rila stood slowly. I remembered the fire. I remembered what they did. I could not let it happen again. The captain nodded. You turned your pain into action. That is strength. Rila looked out the window. The stars were calm again. The machines were far behind. But she knew they would return. Someday. Still, for now, they had won. She had done more than survive. She had fought back. The Hope Seeker flew through open space. Inside the ship, everything was quiet. The rescued crew from Nova Light rested in the med bay. The human crew fixed damaged systems. The engines were warm again. The lights stayed steady. But inside Rila, a fire had started. She sat in the control room with Tom. A soft light glowed across their faces. The screen showed space outside, empty for now. Tom leaned back in his chair. We were lucky. 1 more minute and those machines would have caught us. Rila nodded slowly. Luck helps. But it was not only luck. Tom looked at her. No, it was you. You changed the path. You tricked the machines. You helped save them. Rila looked down at her hands. These hands did something new, not just to survive, but to protect. Tom smiled. You fought for others. That's what crew means. The door opened, and Captain Hana stepped inside. She looked at both of them. Rila, I want you to lead something. Rila stood up. What is it? The captain turned on a large screen. It showed the Nova light again. It was damaged but safe. Then it showed other signals, small ships, stations, dots across the system. These machines are spreading. They are moving from place to place, not fast, but with purpose. Rila stared at the map. They do not attack for fun. They look for weakness, for silence, for fear. The captain nodded. Then we will not give them silence. She looked at Rila. I want you to lead a small defense unit on this ship. No weapons yet, but training, planning, strategy. You know how they think. Rila was quiet for a moment. Her eyes moved from the screen to the captain. I accept. Captain Hana gave her a small badge. We will make space safer, 1 step at a time. Later that day, Rila stood in a new room. It was empty for now. Soon it would be used for training. She looked at the walls, at the space around her. It was not much, but it was hers to shape. She remembered the days she had nothing, not even food or hope. Now she was building something new. Tom entered the room with a box in his arms, brought tools, some screens, a few parts. Rila helped him place everything down. She looked at him. Thank you. He looked confused. For what? For showing me that humans can be more than stories. Tom smiled. And you showed me that one person can change everything. They worked together in silence, setting up panels, drawing plans, making lists of what to teach. Rila wrote down things about the machines, weak points, movement patterns, signal tricks. She turned pain into knowledge. Soon others came to help. Mina brought chairs and tables. Glenn fixed the lights. Rob set up a projector. The training room began to take shape. Each day, Rila taught small groups. She spoke slowly and clearly. She showed images and played recordings. She guided others through practice drills. Her voice was strong. Her hands were steady. Tom watched from the side with quiet pride. One evening after training, Rila sat in the garden room. She looked at the plants, growing behind glass, green life inside metal walls. It reminded her of her world, but also of something new. Tom sat beside her. "You look calm. I am thinking. About what? About what comes next." Tom nodded. "What do you want to do?" Rila looked at her hands. "I want to stop the machines. I want to help others fight back. Not just run." Tom looked at her. "That sounds like a plan." She turned to him. "Will you help me?" He smiled, always. The next day, the Hope Seeker stopped at a small space station. They gave reports. They shared what they saw. Rila spoke to other leaders. They listened to her. They took her warnings seriously. Some asked for copies of her training notes. Others asked for help building the same kind of room on their ships. Rila gave them everything she could. When they left the station, a small child waved at the window. Rila waved back. The child smiled. She turned to Tom. "I never thought I would be the one helping others." He looked at her. "You were always strong. You just needed a reason to show it." That night, Rila stood in her room. The stars outside moved slowly. She looked at her reflection in the glass. She saw someone new, not a lost survivor, not a broken soul, but a leader, a builder, a fighter. The fire in her heart did not burn with pain now. It burned with purpose. She had found her new path, and it was just the beginning. The Hope Seeker moved through space, calm and steady. Rila stood on the deck near the big window. She looked at the stars and felt the quiet hum of the ship under her feet. The ship was her home now. The crew was her family. Captain Hana walked beside her. Her face was kind, but strong. Rila turned to the captain. "Thank you for giving me a place here." Captain Hana smiled. "You earned it. You helped save lives. You showed us all what courage means." Tom came to stand near them. He held a small box in his hand. He looked at Rila with a soft smile. "We made something for you." Rila looked curious. The captain opened the box. Inside was a small metal badge with the ship's symbol and a shining light inside. "This is your official crew badge, Rila. It means you are a full member of the Hope Seeker." "You belong here?" Rila's eyes shone with tears. She took the badge carefully and pinned it on her uniform. It felt heavy and light at the same time. Tom smiled again. "You saved more than just machines and people. You saved hope." Rila looked at the stars. "When I first came here, I had nothing left. No home, no family, no future, only my body and memories. Now I have more. A name, a purpose, a family who cares." Captain Hana nodded. "That is what makes humans special. We choose to care. We choose to stand together." Rila looked back at the stars outside. "I was afraid of humans once. I thought you were wild and cruel, but you showed me kindness and strength." Tom put his hand gently on her shoulder. "We all have parts of us that can be strong or weak. What matters is what we choose." Rila smiled softly. "I choose to be strong, to protect, to help." The captain spoke. "This ship will visit many places. We will meet others who need help, and we will face dangers, but we will not be alone." Rila felt the fire in her heart grow. Not pain this time, not fear, Hope Tom looked out the window. What comes next? Rila looked at him. A new journey, a new fight, a new chance to show what it means to be alive. The stars outside burned bright. The ship moved forward into the unknown. Rila knew her past would always be with her, but it did not control her. She was more than memory or body. She was a new story, a story of hope, courage, and kindness. The story of a human and an alien who saved more than just a life. They saved a future.